And if the key to reverse time is not in a bottle of cream, or in a surgery, or in genetics, but in a forgotten code that lives inside you, waiting to be activated. And if true aging was not an inevitable biological destiny, but a programming that can be rewritten from the very consciousness. Imagine for a moment that everything you think you know about your body, its limits, its wear, its expiration date, is nothing more than a story, repeated generation after generation until it became a collective truth. But now, something changes. Something deep, ancient, forbidden, begins to reveal itself. This is no longer a video about health, nor a passing trick of well-being. What you are about to discover is a forgotten map that connects quantum science with the most ancestral esoteric wisdom. A knowledge sealed for centuries, whispered by beginners, and rediscovered by those who have learned to look beyond the apparent. Today, that map unfolds before you. In the next sections, we will explore the forbidden secret to rejuvenate your body by activating your quantum biology. You will learn that you are not a simple biological machine, but a network of frequencies, an energetic architecture capable of regeneration, expansion, and rebirth. You will see how your thoughts, emotions, and words act as direct commands on your cells, how the vibration you emit, and not the years you have lived, is what truly dictates your physical state. This journey will take us through paths of silence, conscious breathing, electromagnetic fields, and regenerative visualizations. We will visit the ancient traditions that knew that biology was just a layer, and that underneath it lives an infinite consciousness capable of reprogramming everything. From meditation practices to the use of healing frequencies, from vibrational feeding to genetic activation from thought, you will understand that each part of your body is waiting for a new instruction, and that instruction can be born today. It will not be a path of empty promises or magical solutions. It will be an awakening. Because rejuvenation does not only mean seeing yourself young, it means rekindling the vital energy that once naturally sprang up in you. It means remembering your original design before fear, stress, and collective programming turned off their light. So if you ever felt that time was stealing your energy, that your body no longer responded the same, that the mirror gave you a tired image, this message is for you. The secret has been forbidden not because it is false, but because it is too powerful. And now the time has come for you to remember it. Are you ready to awaken your quantum biology again? In the dark halls of Egypt, where incense perfumed the stone and silence spoke in sacred codes, the priests already knew what we are starting to rediscover today. The human body is not just flesh, blood, and bone. It is an electric temple, a vibrating field that, if activated correctly, can challenge time, heal from within, and be reborn at will. Ancient cultures did not separate the physical from the spiritual, the material from the invisible. For them, the body was the dense extension of the soul, and their health or their decay did not depend on genetic chance, but on the alignment with the sacred rhythm of the universe. This knowledge was expressed in symbols, rituals, songs, and gestures, and its purpose was not aesthetic, but profound. Maintain the internal vibration of the body in tune with the source. In Vedantic texts of India, it is spoken of the prana, the vital force that animates matter. In Tibet, the lamas knew how to control their bodily functions at will through the tummo, an energetic practice that warmed their body in the middle of the snow. In Mesoamerica, The wise, guarded body maps where specific points, not visible to the human eye, acted as energy portals. The Pessoa itself, which in the West we hardly understand as a muscle, was for them an ascending channel of light that connected the earth with the higher consciousness. What unites all these cultures? A simple truth. The body responds to intention, not as a metaphor, but as a real biological mechanism. Through precise techniques, these initiates knew how to activate areas of the body where energy slept. They knew that each cell listens, that blood vibrates, that DNA can obey specific frequencies. This knowledge disappeared or was silenced when the mechanistic vision of science prevailed. The body was reduced to a machine that wears out. Spirituality separated from the body, and medicine became external. Chemicals to turn off symptoms, machines to replace functions, knives to correct mistakes. But today, the borders begin to blur. Quantum physics, unintentionally, is validating the whispers of the ancient sages. It speaks of fields of probability, of particles that behave according to observation, of realities that change with attention. With new neurosciences begin to accept that the mind changes the body, that emotion affects the cell, that intention modifies structures. Quantum biology is not a fashion. It is the modern language to explain the ancient miracle. You can regenerate, because what is damaged can be healed, what ages can be renewed, and what you thought immutable can be rewritten with the correct key. The cultures that were not afraid to look inside knew this from the beginning. They did not need laboratories, but presence. They did not require devices, but ritual. They did not look at the body as an enemy to control, but as a sacred ally to wake up to. Today, when we observe this forgotten legacy, we understand that what has been called a miracle is simply ancient spiritual technology, wrapped in symbols, hidden in myths, and now finally ready to be remembered. Your body has never forgotten you. It just waits for you to remember it. Imagine for a moment that your body is not simply a biological vehicle, but a network of conscious light, capable of self-adjusting, receiving codes, and activating superior operating patterns. Imagine that each cell not only performs physical functions, but vibrates, listens, and responds to the electromagnetic field that you emit through your thoughts, emotions, and intentions. This is not an exercise in esoteric imagination. It is the operating base of what we call quantum biology, the new frontier of human knowledge, in which science and spirit, matter and energy, body and field are intertwined. And in the heart of this vision hides a secret silenced for centuries. You can rewrite your body from within. The key is to understand that the human body is not static. It is a dynamic system designed to be constantly renewed. The cells of your skin, of your organs, of your blood, they all regenerate. But what nobody says is that this process of renewal can be directed, it can be accelerated, even transformed, when you understand how consciousness, the internal electromagnetic field, and the vibratory intention interact. The pineal gland, the thymus, the mitochondria, all these biological components have properties beyond what conventional science has dared to accept. They act like quantum antennas, modulating the energy you receive and emit. They are bioenergetic portals. But none of this is activated without conscious participation. The body responds to the command of the soul. But that command only becomes effective when it is emitted with clarity, intention, and coherence. This is where the inner electromagnetic field enters, a real, measurable field which you constantly generate, and which becomes the matrix on which your physiological processes are inscribed. This field is not formed only by the heartbeat or brain activity. It is built and strengthened through precise practices, deep breaths directed to key areas of the body, harmonious songs that resound in the internal cavities, visualizations sustained with a living intention, and elevated emotional states such as gratitude, confidence, certainty. When you combine these elements, you create what some wise men called the atmosphere of the miracle, an internal environment where the cell begins to remember its original design, not the one that has been modified by stress, trauma, or external programming, but the one that is inscribed in the divine geometry of DNA. That DNA is not a hard, passive disk. It is a vibratory instrument, sensitive to frequencies. In the presence of certain vibrations, such as those emitted by the human voice loaded with elevated intention, certain chains are unscrewed and become active. This is where biological reprogramming begins. The result? Regeneration, mental clarity, reduction of inflammations, immunological strengthening, cell rejuvenation. But all this does not come as the product of an external agent. It comes from you, from your alignment with the power that lies in your center. Activating quantum biology is not turning on a magic button. It is establishing an honest and constant communication between your soul and your matter. It is telling your body, I am ready to be light from within. We rewrite the script, and the amazing thing is that once you do, your body responds. Not out of blind obedience, but because it has always been waiting for that signal to become what it was designed to be, a luminous instrument at the service of your spirit. In the hidden schools of ancestral knowledge, it was taught that the human body is like a living temple, but not a temple that simply houses the soul, but a temple that responds to the soul. This distinction is vital, because while the modern medical approach considers the body as a biological machine that can fail or wear out over time, the oldest traditions understood that the body behaves more like an intelligent crystal. It absorbs, emits, responds, is programmed. Quantum biology takes this understanding to a new level. We are not made of bricks of flesh, but of vibrating fields that adopt a visible form. Matter, in its nucleus, is organized energy, and if this organization changes, so does the body. This is what happens when we activate the healing and rejuvenating power that lies within us. But what is the catalyst? What does quantum biology really move in our favor? Language. Not a verbal language, but a frequency one. The body, like a vast orchestra, listens to the vibrations it receives from inside and outside. And here something crucial happens. Each thought is a vibration. Each emotion, an electromagnetic wave. Each word said with intention, a bioenergetic order. When you speak with fear, your field contracts. When you feel deep gratitude, it expands. When you breathe from your center with full attention, the field stabilizes and begins to resonate with patterns of harmony. These are fertile conditions for regenerative activation. In addition, there are areas of the body that function as bioquantum switches. The psoas, the solar plexus, the thymus, the base of the spine, the pineal gland. All these points are nodes of high energy sensitivity. When working with them consciously, through movement, sound, visualization, or breathing, responses that transcend the physical are triggered. Coherent energy pulses are generated that stimulate cellular repair, tissue renewal, and the strengthening of the immune system. A key example is the phenomenon of the observer effect, studied in quantum physics. Subatomic particles change their behavior when they are observed. Now transfer that idea to the body. If you observe with healing intention a part of you that has been sick, you generate a real alteration in its energy structure. That area begins to reorder, because you have acted not from judgment or fear, but from vibratory consciousness. And it is not necessary to understand all the quantum equations for this to work. What is needed is presence. Energy follows attention. Where you carry your consciousness, you carry your light. And where you carry your light, biology responds. Here another profound principle arises: coherence. When your mind thinks one thing, your heart feels another, and your body acts in a different direction, there is no real creative force. But when thought, emotion, and action are aligned in a single purpose, for example, healing or rejuvenation, a powerful resonance occurs. This resonance generates coherence, and coherence is the fertile ground where quantum activation flourishes. Therefore, any technique that works with the body must be accompanied by clear intention. It is not enough to move the body mechanically. There must be an internal narrative that accompanies. I am activating the light that renews me. My body remembers its original design. Energy flows without obstacles, and it transforms me. These types of affirmations are not mere positive thoughts. They are vibratory commands that restructure the field, because the field is the origin, and the body is its manifestation. Are you ready for the matter of your body to respond to the symphony of your soul? Understanding that your body is an energetic field sensitive to every thought, emotion, and intention that you emit is not just an act of spiritual understanding. It is a practical responsibility. The activation of your quantum biology, that subtle potential that restructures cells, heals tissues, and lights up the light of the soul, does not occur as an isolated mystical flash. It is an art that is cultivated in daily life. And here I share with you how you can start. The first step is to take control of your internal narrative. Every day, every hour, the mind launches automatic thoughts, and most of them are residual. Judgments, fears, memories of the past that vibrate at low frequency. To activate your quantum biology, you need to change the internal tone with which you speak to yourself. It is not enough to repeat empty affirmations. Your body is too wise to respond to hollow words. You need to feel them, inhabit them, breathe them. When you wake up, before you open your eyes completely, place one hand on your heart and the other on your abdomen. Breathe deeply and affirm sincerely. Today, I choose to align my energy with my original design. I am living light. My body is a temple that responds to my consciousness. This simple practice, if done consistently, reconfigures your magnetic field for the day. It is like tuning an instrument before the symphony begins. The second tip is more physical. Pay attention to conscious movement. The way you walk, sit, breathe, or eat can help or sabotage you. When you make hasty, misaligned, or unconscious movements, your energy field is fragmented. On the contrary, when you move with presence, your nervous system calms down, your brain frequency descends to more coherent states, and the quantum regeneration mechanisms are activated. A simple technique is spiral breathing. While you inhale, imagine that the energy rises from the base of your spine like a light spiral that goes up to your crown. When you exhale, feel how that same light goes down, bathing each organ, each cell. Do it 3 minutes every morning and 3 before going to sleep. This harmonizes the body-soul axis and awakens dormant memories in your DNA. Third tip: take care of what you consume, but not only in terms of food. Observe what contents you consume through your eyes, your ears, your emotional environment. Violent images, negative speeches, destructive music, all that alters your vibration. Choose readings, sounds, colors, and conversations that elevate your field. Beauty is quantum medicine. Fourth, reunite with silence. We live overstimulated, trapped in a fog of information that tires the soul, but in deep silence, the energy is reorganized. Spend at least 10 minutes a day closing your eyes, turning off all stimuli, and simply listening to your interior. Do nothing else. Just listen. What happens there is a subtle alchemy. Your field is purified. Your organs rest, and the body returns to its natural regenerative intelligence. Finally, connect with the elevated intention. Your body will not rejuvenate with isolated techniques if you do not have a clear reason to do so. The purpose is the soul of energy. Ask yourself, why do I want to heal? Why do I want to remain young and vital? What higher service do I want to offer to the world with this energy that I recover? When your intention aligns with a high purpose, create, love, serve, awaken, your biology responds with gratitude, and that gratitude becomes a living medicine that runs through your veins, your bones, your aura. You do not need to be a scientist to activate your quantum biology. You just need to remember who you are. A channel between heaven and earth. A light antenna that transforms its reality from within. Behind each cell, each vibration, each bioelectric impulse, there is a field of living information that sustains everything. And you, even if you have forgotten, you are its guardian. Quantum biology is not a futuristic promise or a spiritual fantasy. It is an ancient truth, a secret that has been whispered from the Egyptian temples to the caves of the Himalayas, and that now begins to be remembered in the hearts of those who long more than to exist, those who long to live fully. What you have discovered on this journey is more than a technique. You have seen a completely new and at the same time very old way of inhabiting your body, no longer as a container that inevitably ages, but as a temple that responds to your consciousness, a regenerative field that is reactivated when you treat it as an ally, not as a machine. Your body is the land where your divinity germinates. You do not need to seek eternity in other dimensions. You have it here, woven into your nervous system, in the silent music of your organs, in the magnetic field that envelops you when you are in coherence. Every thought you hold, every emotion you choose to transmute, every breath you make with intention reprograms your vibrating architecture. But this knowledge, although powerful, requires something more than intellectual understanding. It requires practice, loving discipline, daily attention. Just as a fire needs to be fed in order not to extinguish itself, your energy field needs to be nourished. Not from fear, but from devotion. From that sacred space where you know that your well-being is not only yours. By elevating yourself, you elevate the collective. Rejuvenation is not only regaining the youthful appearance, it is regaining the lost coherence. It is returning to the original design that life offered you before the noise of the world confused your circuits. And that return is possible, because in the depths of your biology, the melody of your truth still vibrates. You just need to be activated. Therefore, this is not just an invitation to take care of your body, but to inhabit it as a priest inhabits his temple, to listen to it as a wise man listens to the oracle, to celebrate it as an artist celebrates his masterpiece, because that is what you are, an electromagnetic masterpiece, a symphony of incarnate light. And now that you know, the question is no longer if you can rejuvenate, but are you willing to become the conscious guardian of your quantum field? If this truth has resonated with you, if you feel that this message has awakened something dormant in you, then I invite you to expand this light. Like the video, share it with those who need to remember their power, and subscribe to the channel to continue exploring together the mysteries that transform, because we are just beginning. And remember, You are not made of matter only. You are made of intention, of light, of living consciousness. The greatest miracle is not that you can heal. The greatest miracle is that you are the healer.